Okay, today we're going to be cutting up a whole beef tenderloin. A lot of you have been buying these on a regular basis. They're quite popular. Really good bang for your buck as far as getting a top quality piece of meat for a very reasonable price. When you're buying them whole like this, they'll just come in a bag. There's very little waste, but you do want to maybe take off the silver skin. It's not crucial, but it's nice having it gone. Just stick your knife underneath and just kind of take thin strips off. You're not going to be wasting a lot of meat anyway. Just take it off in thin strips. That's about the only part of this cut that you actually really need to do anything with. There'll be a few, kind of stragglers that you can take off the edges. Just kind of slide the knife underneath. It helps if it's somewhat sharp. This one kind of goes into that little crevice a little bit. But again, it's not critical that it's all gone. And like I said, you don't end up with a lot of waste. Some of that, the silver skin is one thing. The fat, these little bits of the fat, they often will kind of disappear as you're barbecuing anyway, or you're smoking it or grilling it. A little bit on the back side, but that's about it as far as waste that there's going to be off of them. And you've got many options. You can leave it whole, season it up. Some people actually like to take, because of the tapered end, they like to take it and fold that tapered end in. They'll get a bit of butcher twine and they'll tie it together just to have a little more of an even cook. The other thing you can do is just, not going to use it all in one shot, cut it into a few smaller pieces. This end piece is great for making little, whether you want to do little appetizers, you can either cut it off into little pieces, use it for, put some barbecue sauce on, wrap it in bacon. You could even just take this piece off, use it as a kind of an end piece. These other ends, if you want to butterfly them, just cut part way through the first cut, the second cut, go all the way through. Get a little bigger steak that way. Same thing. Once you get a little bigger, you can kind of leave it as a steak.
Okay, so you're making this one steak.
Yep.
You've butterflied it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can, that way when you're on the barbecue and you flip it, once it kind of gets a bit of baking happening on it, it'll kind of stay together nicely. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Some of these small ends, nice, you might be able to take and even cut them. Take a half a slice of bacon, wrap it around it, toothpick it, and you got a nice start for an appetizer. Okay. Don't want to use the whole thing. Take part of it, put it in the freezer for next time.
Perfect.
And then if you want to cut yourself a few steaks, it depends. You want a whole steak, or like a small steak, just cut it like that. As you get further down, it gets a little bigger. Thickness, that's up to you. They cut very easy. You don't need much of a knife. You got somebody who wants their steak maybe medium or rare, go a little thicker. If you got a thicker steak and a thinner steak, leave them on the barbecue at the same time. This one will be, medium to well. This one will be rare. You got another chunk for another meal.
Okay, so what if I wanted to stuff it?
Okay, you could take a chunk like this and cut it. Just go about a halfway or so. You can fold it open.
Cuts like butter.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
You can put a stuffing in there, you can close it, tie it back up. Season it up, bake it, yep.
And how many steaks would you kind of get out of, if I was cutting the whole thing, how many steaks would I get out of one whole tenderloin?
The whole thing's going to weigh anywhere between 3.5 to 5 pounds. So you're going to get, if you're thinking of a 4-pound piece, if you want 8-ounce steaks, you're going to have about 8 steaks. But you can think of at least a, 8 to 10 person serving out of a tenderloin that's maybe going to only cost you about, $45-50, which is what one steak at a restaurant
So
might
good
cost.
value
So
for your money.
great value.
Yeah. All right. And these are amazing. We sell so many of these.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome. Till next time.